Hello again and welcome to the 140k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to say a big thank you to Mitchell Patino for sending in some absolutely fantastic pictures of his custom Militarum Tempestus army. Looks absolutely fantastic. Mitchell really enjoyed the white and red colour scheme. That, I imagine, some sort of officer or mass of ordnance lying down, calling in that airstrike. Looks really good. Always nice to see a good Militarum Tempestus regiment. Well done. So thank you for sending those pictures in. Looks great. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, please post them on my Facebook page. There will be a link down in the description below, and I will try my best to use them in my videos. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now we're going to be looking today at the Inquisition, and this is going to be the first of at least 2 videos. You see, the new Inquisition rules have come out, or they're coming out in White Dwarf. One way or another, everyone's got sight of them, and they offer some really interesting options for a lot of Imperial armies, but especially for the Imperial Guard. Now, the interesting thing is that not only can the Inquisition be a support faction, but they can also actually directly bring the pain themselves, and can slot in quite nicely alongside an Imperial Guard army, because we have a couple of advantages that other armies don't really have. Today we're not going to be looking at the support role, things like 5-up invuln saves to consequence stuff. We will look at that in another video, do not worry, but today we're going to be looking at the direct sort of offensive action that you can bring to your Imperial Guard army with the Inquisition, because they have some really interesting combos. So what we're really going to be looking at today is, well, the big winner for the Inquisition, I would say, is the Ordo Xenos. A lot of people are talking about Cotiers, but for me, it's got to be the Ordo Xenos, because they have some crazy abilities. I mean, for example, one of them, it's just a simple warlord trait, but as long as the war is on the battlefield, gain a CP on a 5+ each time your opponent uses a stratagem. Great. Considering you spend a CP to give him a warlord trait, you're going to get that back over the course of the game, plus some more. And you don't need to use one of your own relics, extra relics on that. You can take a different extra relic. So at the very least, it will cost you the same amount of command points if you're taking an extra relic. And at the very and the best thing is you might actually also be able to take a different relic you might want to. So that's good. So you've got command point farming in there. I know a lot of Guard players like taking command point farming, so that's fantastic. The other thing that we're really looking at, though, is the psychic powers. Okay, now there's one called Psychic Fortitude, but that one is, it makes a unit fearless, but we'll be looking at that in another video. To be honest, the one that you want to be looking at is Psychic Veil. Okay, so until your next Psychic phase, Ordo Xenos units within 6 inches cannot be targeted unless they're the visible closest target and can only be charged from within 6 inches. So it's obviously only Ordo Xenos units, and so you can't use it to make your guardsmen not targetable. Okay, you can only do it to Ordo Xenos units, but there are guardsmen equivalent that the Inquisition can take, called Acolytes. Okay, now Acolytes are they're guardsmen, but they're 8 points. Okay, so you might be like, not sure about this, you know. Now the thing about Acolytes is you can take them in squads of up to 6. Okay, but they do have a ballistic skill 3+. And I believe also a weapon skill of 3+. So, I mean, the most thing you're interested in is that ballistic skill 3+, because what you can do with these guys is take a squad of Acolytes and give them plasma guns. I believe it's 10 points per plasma gun. Maybe 11. Say 11, just to be safe. It's 11 points per plasma gun. 8 points for the Acolyte. 19 points. That is actually 1 point less than a Scion with a plasma gun. Scions can deep strike, of course, But Scion Command Squads, you can take these guys in addition to your Scion Command Squads. So what this lets you do, essentially, is you can take 3 squads of Acolytes, you can take 4, you can take 2 to 6, but you can take 4 to mimic a Scion Command Squad, or you could take 6 and actually get more than a Scion Command Squad. Give them all plasma guns, and hey presto, you've now got access to 6 Scion Command Squads. 4 actual ones, 3 actual ones, and 3 Acolyte ones. That's insane. And those Acolyte ones, you get your little Ordo Xenos Inquisitor, and you go, Psychic Veil! Now no one can target those Acolytes. Because what's really important to notice is they're not characters. Okay? They're not characters. They just can't be, they're like pseudo characters, but they're better than that. Because it actually means that characters block for these guys. Characters don't block characters, but characters do block pseudo characters. Remember that. That is important. So that makes for something really nasty, because you also have some other combos as well. Because I believe you can take the Jacaro Weaponsmith as well. Now that's a little laser monkey, and he is 22 points. So don't forget that. Now he has a weird ability, which is inconceivable customization. At the start of your shooting phase, pick an order unit within 3 inches and roll a d3. 1/3 of the time they reroll hits, 1/3 of the time they reroll wounds, and 1/3 of the time they reroll both. Okay, so that's really good. Because imagine if you could take 3 of these things, because you could take 3 of these and 3 Acolyte squads. They're all elite choices. They all fit inside one Vanguard attachment, because I believe you can take 1 to 6. And then you can take an all of those Xenos Inquisitor to go with them. No one can target them. All 3 squads are either getting reroll hits, reroll wounds, or reroll everything. There's also, I believe, a way that you can get, you can turn your Inquisitor essentially into a captain. You get reroll 1's aura. So if you're worried about overcharging those plasmas, you just become a, use the, I believe it's the Warlord trait. I'll try and find it now. It's either War trait or it's a relic, to be honest, and it allows you to reroll 1s for everyone within 6 inches. Every Order Xenos. So that's really good. That is really, really good. Because you can, man, yeah, that is really, really good. Because you've essentially got, you can have 18 plasma guns which are not targetable, screened by, I don't know, let's say a unit of conscripts. Why, conscripts? Yeah, we'll be talking about those in another video. Unit of conscripts, screening them, and the enemy's got to cut through like 30 conscripts before they're getting at the plasma death. Now, I actually would say that Jacaro are optional. I would say the Jacaro Weaponsmith is optional. I don't think you need it. I think that actually might add 66. It's only 66 points. That actually adds 66 points of bloat potentially. But 19. If you were to max out your Acolyte squads and add the Inquisitor in there, that is 397 points. So 400 points. 400 points for 18 plasma guns which cannot be targeted. That is pretty tasty. And then, now you might be saying, but it does take up a detachment. So if you do it, if you're adding the Psychers in like that, if you're adding the Inquisition firepower in, it does take up a detachment slot. But this is what I was talking about before, about Guard having an advantage that a lot of other armies don't have. Because you've still got 2 other detachments left, and you can easily fit in a battalion and a brigade. Because normally I would advocate for 3 battalions. You want those 18 command points and 18 infantry squads. You can still get a shitload of command points and infantry squads if you go 1 elite, 1 brigade, 1 battalion. And the only tax you're really looking in that whole situation is like 3 sentinels for the fast attack choices. But you might even take Rough Riders, and you might already be thinking about taking sentinels. So it's not really a tax. It's powerful, guys. It's really powerful. Now, the Inquisition can get inside of any transport as well. So you can drop these guys out the back of Valkyries. Or So you could have all your guys, you could have all your command squads. You could take 3 squads of 5, 3 squads of Acolytes, 3 Scion command squads, put a Scion Tempesta Prime in each in there as well, and the Inquisitor. If you don't really need the Inquisitor, you could take the Inquisitor as well, and that all fits in 3 Valkyries. And then you swoop over, drop out. You don't even need to take the Scion formation, the Tempesta drop force, but you could do that as well. You see, what a lot of people are doing is taking Tempesta drop forces and adding in an infantry, a basic Scion squad, so that when you jump out, you don't break your legs on all plasma guns. But you could take 10 plasma guns at each one of those Valkyries. Oh my god, that's insane. That's 30 plasma guns, all re-rolling 1s at least. All re-rolling 1s. That is insane. That is 60 plasma shots. Now you might lose a few jumping out, because obviously of the way grav shoot works. But that is still insane. That is 30 plasma guns, overcharged. Anyone that you lose on the way out will probably get compensated for the fact that you'll be getting extra shots on the Scions. So that is insane. So really, do not dismiss. I know a lot of people are thinking Inquisitor, buff conscripts or buff units, job done. I know a lot of people are thinking that, but honestly, don't forget about the Acolytes. It is an insane amount of firepower. Now you might be thinking, that's that. We're talking about anti-Primaris. That is anti-Primaris. That is very, very anti-Primaris. Yeah, that's insane. Now you don't even need, the thing is, you don't even need to be thinking in terms of dropping out of Valkyries. You could do, but you don't even need to be thinking about that. You can just be thinking about walking these guys up. If you're taking an infantry army like me, just walk these guys up behind and use Psychic Veil every turn. Madness. Now, this will come into a video. This will come into another video. But a scenario I have in my head is a Psyker, Inquisitor Psyker, who is casting 2 powers a turn. 1 is Psychic Veil, and 1 is Psychic Fortitude for the automatic morale test. And you Fortitude all your Plasma Gun Acolytes and the Inquisitor, and you bubble wrap them in a squad of 30 conscripts, which are now fearless. That's good, but yeah, that's competitive to say the least. So, what do you guys think? Are there other combos out there? I've heard people saying you can put these guys in drop pods. If that's true, that is insane. They're my initial thoughts on how you can get the most out of the Inquisition faction from an offensive point of view. Next time we're going to be looking at how we can use these guys in a support role. I know I think that would be really useful for a lot of guardsmen. How you can, just by adding a single model to your army, really up the defensive and strategic capability of your forces. So if you guys enjoyed this video, put lots of comments down below, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.